This is going to blow your mind. This is the moment 4 royal pundits proved they care more about attacking Meghan than telling the truth, and YouTubers exposed all of it.
So we basically interviewed royal experts about Harry and Meghan's interview 2 days before anyone had actually seen it.
And invited them on a fake TV show and said, would you give your instant post-match analysis to the interview that's going on CBS? Unfortunately, because it's television, we do have to pre-record it, but that won't be a problem, will it? Oh no, they all said, and offered their views on an interview that, alas, they had not seen.
Did you, I mean, I don't want to ask you, I know, Archie, you also work as a magician, so I'm not going to ask you to breach magic circle rules and reveal your secrets, but did you tell them that you'd seen it?
No. We verified that neither we nor them had seen it before. No.
And obviously you paid them, which is quite a big part of the process.
Yes, we did pay them.
We paid them the kind of fee, well, let's say we did pay them, the kind of fee they would expect to receive for a television appearance. But we thought it was important to mention to our audience that we did pay them, both because it was the truth, but also because it means that, in a sense, they are monetizing this industry.
I'm intrigued by that. I've lost an argument with my wife, actually, who's also a journalist, because I thought you might have tempted them into this indiscretion by putting more money on the table than is ordinarily available for a kind of gob on a stick gig.
No, we're saving all our money for the pub when we're allowed to go. We're not going to put more money than we need to.
Let's have sorry, go on, Josh.
To pay that amount of money.
No, well, as I say, I got that one wrong. Let's have a little listen to the results.
Welcome to the truth behind the Meghan Markle media scandal, where the so-called royal experts get caught in the act. Let's talk about the British royal family and the so-called royal experts who obsessively analyse their every move. For years, these pundits have treated Meghan Markle with the kind of scrutiny usually reserved for movie villains. Then 2 YouTubers, Josh Pieters and Archie Manners, exposed just how little these experts care about facts. They tricked several royal commentators into giving serious analysis on an event that never happened. The result? A masterclass in journalistic comeuppance. These insiders were caught confidently discussing a fake event, revealing that their expertise is often just performance. The prank was a surgical strike against the heart of manufactured outrage. It showed that many pundits are more interested in pushing a pre-written narrative than in the truth. All it took was a prompt, and they filled in the blanks with their usual lines of indignation. The fallout was spectacular, exposing the expert label as little more than a costume. These commentators weren't just wrong, they were authoritatively, spectacularly wrong. Sometimes the people shaping public opinion know even less than you do. Before we examine the Meghan Markle media scandal, let's take a moment of silence for journalistic integrity, something that's been sorely missing in royal coverage. In the rush to cover Meghan Markle, journalistic standards have fallen so low they're almost impossible to find. The media frenzy around Meghan isn't about facts. It's about sensationalism, speculation, and outrage. The coverage has become so absurd, it's hard to believe what's real and what's manufactured. Stories about Meghan are often built on rumors, anonymous sources, and wild interpretations, rarely on verified information. Analysis in this world means confidently repeating unverified claims, not seeking the truth. The Meghan Markle scandal exposed just how easily the media can be manipulated when integrity is ignored. The real scandal? It didn't take sophisticated deception, just an understanding that the media's hunger for Meghan content is endless. The news cycle demands constant feeding and rarely pauses to check the quality of what it's consuming. If a story looks like news about Meghan, it's accepted without question. That's exactly what happened in this scandal. Eager for the next Meghan headline, so-called experts failed to verify even the most basic facts. Let's return to the story and see just how far journalistic integrity has fallen.
These are the kind of people that wear cashmere on breakfast television sets and once shared a taxi with Princess Margaret and feel that they've got a sort of insight into the royal family. They are then duping both media organisations and the public with their views that arguably, and it's up to our viewers and your listeners to make their own minds up, but arguably are not formed, and that's shaping what is, I think, now becoming quite a toxic debate. And we did not target royal correspondents. We did not target Tim Shipman or Nicholas Witchell, Chris Ship or Nicholas Witchell, or anybody who's a proper journalist. These are people that have set themselves up as experts. They're not journalists. It turns out that that royal experts are very keen to pass on their expertise.
for which we...
So how did two YouTubers manage to pull back the curtain on the royal media machine? Josh and Archie created a fake PR company, posing as media professionals to approach well-known royal commentators. They sent out emails claiming to have an exclusive preview from the Meghan and Harry Oprah interview and asked for expert analysis before the footage was made public. The commentators, eager to be part of the media conversation, quickly agreed and signed up for the supposed exclusive. The YouTubers set up a convincing professional environment, complete with lighting, cameras and a remote producer, to make the ruse believable. But there was no interview clip. The entire setup was a fabrication designed to test the commentators' integrity. Josh and Archie asked the commentators to analyze a video that didn't exist, directly challenging the reliability of their responses. Instead of questioning the missing footage, the commentators launched into detailed analysis, exposing how easily the media narrative can be constructed without facts. They speculated on Meghan's supposed body language and tone, despite never seeing any actual content. One commentator even critiqued Meghan's vague statements that were never made. This experiment revealed how commentators, conditioned to fill airtime, can perpetuate narratives without evidence. The YouTubers' simple setup exposed the ease with which the royal media narrative can be manipulated. The need to provide commentary often outweighed any instinct to verify the facts. In the end, it wasn't a sting. It was a clear demonstration of how fragile and performative the royal media narrative can be. Media experts were asked to analyze an interview that never actually happened. It was like watching a wine critic describe flavors in an empty glass, offering opinions on something that simply wasn't there. Despite having no real content, these commentators still found ways to critique Meghan Markle, inventing issues out of thin air. One expert even labelled Meghan's supposed comments as unfair to the Queen, despite those comments never being made. Another accused her of using emotional language to attack the royal family, all based on a completely fabricated scenario. This wasn't just a minor error. It exposed a deeper flaw in how media experts operate. Instead of waiting for facts, the experts performed, filling the void with speculation and pre-rehearsed narratives. They assumed the role of royal insider, improvising commentary on a non-existent event. The real trick wasn't on the public, but on the so-called experts who revealed how easily they could be led. Most telling of all, they were paid to give opinions on something that never occurred. The YouTubers' stunt exposed just how quickly outrage can be manufactured by media professionals, even when there's nothing real to discuss. The Meghan Markle media scandal exposes a deeper issue: how truth is often sidelined in royal coverage. In this environment, facts are frequently overshadowed by emotion and bias, shaping the narrative before the truth is even considered. Sensational headlines and repeated negative stories about Meghan Markle have created a lasting impression, regardless of the facts. Information is often selected or distorted to fit a predetermined storyline, rather than to inform the public accurately. Once misinformation takes hold, it spreads easily and becomes difficult to correct, reinforcing public misconceptions. The recent YouTube prank highlighted how quickly commentators respond to rumors without verifying the truth. Their role became less about reporting facts and more about repeating the same misleading narrative. Fact-checking was ignored as assumptions replaced evidence in their coverage. The absence of truth led to automatic, uncritical responses. Misinformation spread unchecked. When media outlets prioritize a compelling story over factual accuracy, they contribute to a cycle of misinformation. This not only damages their credibility, but also erodes the public's trust in journalism. By choosing sensationalism over truth, royal commentators fueled misinformation and were ultimately exposed for it. The media's reaction to the Oprah interview was a textbook example of rushing to judgment in royal scandals. Even before the interview aired, many commentators had already labeled it a betrayal, showing how quickly opinions form without full context. Headlines and stories appeared with conclusions drawn before any real evidence was available. The actual claims about racism and mental health were often overshadowed by the rush to fit the story into a familiar scandal narrative. Newsrooms focused on shaping the coverage to match pre-existing expectations rather than examining the facts. When Meghan shared her struggles, some pundits immediately questioned her motives, reflecting a pattern of skepticism that often precedes evidence in royal controversies. This cycle, where opinions are formed first and facts come second, has become a hallmark of media coverage in royal scandals. The Oprah interview simply became another trigger for commentators to reinforce their established views. Many in the media made assumptions and offered commentary without engaging with the actual content, highlighting a persistent rush to judgment. In royal scandals, evidence is often treated as optional. Conclusions come first, and facts are an afterthought. This chapter is about the performance of expertise in royal reporting. In the world of royal news, expert often just means someone who sounds confident and is willing to offer a strong opinion about the royals on camera. These royal commentators are more performers than analysts. They have the costume and the script, but rarely the substance or real insight into royal affairs. The YouTuber's prank worked because it exposed how easily royal commentary can be faked. The so-called experts were so focused on performing, they forgot to ask the obvious. Do we actually know what's happening with the royals? Producers book these performers for royal segments because they make good TV, and audiences assume they're credible about the monarchy. Their opinions get amplified, shaping how the public sees the royal family. The whole system is built on the illusion of royal authority. Josh and Archie didn't just poke the house of cards, they bulldozed the illusion of royal expertise. The performance of expertise isn't limited to one royal story, it's everywhere in royal reporting. The prank was a hilarious reminder. Confidence in royal commentary isn't the same as real knowledge about the royals. As we reach the end, here's a final warning, one that's crucial in the age of relentless media. The Meghan Markle media scandal wasn't just a headline. It was a clear example of how easily stories can be twisted and spread. Narratives, when unchecked, can shape public opinion in ways that are far from the truth. The result? Real-world harm, harassment, division, and a society split by misinformation. The line between fact and fiction becomes dangerously blurred. For Meghan, years of careless commentary and media manipulation had a direct impact on her well-being. Words aren't harmless. They can be weapons. As viewers, we can't ignore our role in this cycle. We must approach every story with skepticism and care.